Hello my fellow weirdos and welcome back to my channel. For today's video I am going to be doing the end of year book tag because 2019 is over. Hey guys, as I said, for today's video I'm going to be doing the end of year book tag. 2019 is coming to an end and 2020 is on the horizon. I wasn't tagged to do this video, but to hell with it, I decided to go ahead and do it anyway. Before I jump in, if you could please subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it, guys. And if you could also hit that bell button so you get a notification every time I post new content and you never miss out in my fabulous videos. But let's lump into the tag, shall we? Question number 1, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? My current read, which is the cult called Freedom House, I am about halfway through. I need to finish that. I started to read Moby Dick this year because I always try to read a classic and I just couldn't get into it and I gave up fairly quickly. I need to try and get back into that. I think sometimes you have to be in the mood for that kind of a book. So those are two that I kind of didn't finish, but I will eventually finish. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? No. I tend to be a bit of a mood reader. I wait until I finish a book and then I just sort of peruse my TBR and decide what kind of fits my mood at that particular moment. Do I want something scary? Do I want something funny? And then I kind of just go for that. I do tend to read kind of seasonally, so I've done a couple of videos about what to read in winter, what horror books to read in winter, and I tend to feel like I do gravitate towards those kind of more wintry reads this time of year, and then in autumn I go kind of towards kind of classic gothic sort of stuff. But I don't find that there's anything to transition between the two. I just sort of finish one and move on to the next. Number 3, is there a new release you're still waiting for? I just ordered Dracul, which is the kind of like sequel to Bram Stoker's Dracula based on his original notes. And I'm waiting on that arriving. So that's kind of like my newest purchase that I'm excited to get. I'm very excited to read. I think I actually might reread Dracula before I read Dracul because it's been a really long time since I read Dracula. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Ugh, I really want to read The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. I love classic gothic horror. I will say it time and time again, there's just nothing better than the old school classic gothic horror books. And this is supposed to be one of the best. For some reason, I just never got around to reading it, so I really want to read that before the end of the year. It is being adapted next year for a Netflix original. The same people who wrote and directed The Haunting of Hill House, which is based on Shirley Jackson's novel of the same name, they are doing The Haunting of Bly Manor, or is it Bly House? The house in Turn of the Screw. It's about a governess who's looking after children in this big manor house called Bly House, and it's haunted. So, you know, ensue the scares. So I really definitely want to read that for the end of the year. So hopefully I'll get round to it. It's been a really slow reading month. I think it's just so much to do in December. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? I think The Turn of the Screw could go quite high up there, based on the fact that I just love old school gothic books in general. It might not necessarily become my favourite book of the year, but it'll probably be up there in the top books because I don't know, I just have a thing for classics. Does anybody else just find that when you read a classic, it's a classic for a reason? Saying that, I did just say I couldn't really get into Moby Dick, so maybe you have to be in the mood. I also got this lovely book for my birthday from my best friend called The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter, and I'm going to try and read that before the end of the year as well. And I have a feeling, I mean, look at that gorgeous cover. I have a feeling this is going to become a favourite of mine. It just sounds like my cup of tea completely. It's like reimagining of fairy tales. So yeah, looking forward to that bad boy. And finally, have you already started making reading plans for 2020? Oh yeah, you know I have, guys. There are so many great horror releases coming out next year and I'm really excited for a bunch of them. In fact, I've actually made a list of the books out of all of the releases next year that I'm excited about, and I've turned it into a video, so keep an eye out for that if it's not already up there. If it is, I'll put a little link in this video, but keep an eye out, because oh my gosh, there are so many great reads coming out next year and I'm so excited. The two that probably are top of my list, I'm going to go for Mallory, which is the sequel to Bird Box. I loved that book. It was one of my favourites that I read recently, and I'm really excited to find out what happened with Mallory and to read her continuing story. And then also If It Bleeds, which is a Stephen King collection of novellas. You guys know I love Stephen King. I know I'm going to love this book even before I get it in my hands. So yeah, those are probably the two that I'm most excited about, but there's a whole bunch of new releases. Like I said, go check out my video. But that's me for today, guys. I'm going to tag a few people. I'm going to tag Merc of Harpies in the Trees, mainly because every time I watch her videos, she recommends really, really good horror books that I've never heard of before. And I think that I can use her video to make a little shopping list. I'm also going to tag Sasha of Sasha Reads and Lisa Marie of Lisa Marie Reads. So I'll put their profiles down below and you can check them out. But you don't need to be tagged, guys. You know, it's the end of 2019, start of 2020. It's going to be hard for us to write that date for a while, but we'll get used to it. So go ahead, do this video if you feel like it. Consider yourselves tagged. But that's me, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and have a very, very happy new year. Bye.